Welcome to the first mini lesson for Lon-Capa. We're going to talk about the big picture of Lon-Capa and the basics of navigating around in it. So you want to start, of course, by going to Lon-Capa, and you do that by going to www.lon-capa.uic.edu, and it takes you to this login screen. Great, you log in with your regular username and password for UIUC. And the first thing that you see is the user roles screen. Okay, so notice I have tons and tons of user roles. You probably won't have as many, but you'll still have several. Specifically for every course that you teach, you'll have a separate role for it, sometimes for each section. So notice here's Spring 2011 Stat 100, but I have 3 sections of it. I also have my demo course as a separate role. I also have student access as a separate role. You also have your construction spaces, all the different construction spaces you have access to as a different role. So what is the difference between course and a construction space? So to answer that, let's talk about the big picture. And to give you an illustration, let's just look at this little diagram. So you see that Lon-Capa is really divided up into 2 main areas. You've got your courses, however many you've got, in one area. And then very distinct from that, you've got your construction space. So when you think construction space, you think construct. This is where you make all the stuff that you'll use in your courses. So in your construction space, you make all this stuff, which is then shared into the courses. The courses, all you do in the courses is borrow from the construction space. And it doesn't have to be just one construction space like this picture has. So maybe this is your construction space, but maybe you've got co-authorship on another construction space, so you can borrow material from there. Maybe another colleague has another construction space that you're borrowing material from. The main point is that in your courses, you don't make anything in general. There's a couple exceptions, but we'll get into that much later. In general, the only place that you make things is in your construction space. And furthermore, your construction space can be partitioned into 2 different parts. One is the things that you have published and the things that you have unpublished. So you can make everything in the world that you need for your course, but unless you publish it, none of your courses can have access to it. You can't import it into your courses until you've published it. Okay. So that's the big picture of Lon-Capa. Okay, so right now let's just talk about navigating through the roles within a course. Okay, so I'm just going to pick my demo course. Okay, so we select that, and it takes you to this screen, which is really a stupid screen. You don't really care about that at all. What you care about is main menu. So you go to the top left corner and click main menu. And so here is where you have access to everything in your course. So there's basically 2 ways to navigate through Lon-Capa. One is through the main menu and through these icons up here. The second way is through a remote control. I'll mention briefly how to use the remote control, but really, I don't see why you would use that. It takes you to the exact same places as main menu, and you have to go to the main menu to get to the remote control. So, and anyway, you want to hit, if you didn't see what I just did, you want to hit Set My User Preferences, and then from here you can hit Launch Remote Control. And ta-da, you have a remote control right here. And here you've got all these buttons that will take you different places. So if you want to go back and switch roles to a different course role or a construction space role, you can do that. You can look at your course editor. You can list your course documents, all sorts of stuff. Okay, but I don't really care. I'm going to continue without remote control, just using the main menu. Okay, so Up here, you've got your most common things that you'll choose. Mainly your course editor, your course contents is the main things that you'll be selecting. The course editor is essentially where you build your course. It's like your My Computer of Lon-Capa. Okay. Here is your course contents, and that's where you see everything that is in your course, if you want to look at that. And you can also, through the main menu, see everything else. If you want to do communication, if you want to manage your course and set parameters, or if you want to work with grading, or if you want to add a course coordinator or a TA, or add or drop students, you can do that here, all done through main menu. Okay. One last thing about navigating around in Lon-Capa is that this guy right here, Switch Course Role 2. If you ever are on a screen, you want to see what that looks like for a student, you can always select that and go down, click Student, and it brings you to this screen, which shows exactly what the students see. So notice that your main menu screen, for instance, looks very similar to yours, except much fewer options. Okay. If you want to go back to seeing what it looks like for Course Coordinator, you just do the same thing. Okay, so that's basically it for navigating Lon-Capa.